Okay, y'all. Well, we are heading over to see what's being done. We're supposed to be getting rock delivered this morning. Yes, it is still very wet, but we need...
Farming looks peaceful from the outside. Rolling field, sunsets, and a slower way of life. But behind those wide open skies, there are secrets, struggles, and sometimes tragedies that most people never see. Meredith Bernard, known to thousands online as this farm wife, has lived through moments that could shatter even the strongest hearts. Her fans know her for honesty, laughter, and resilience, but what many don't know is that her family came terrifyingly close to a devastating loss, one that sparked rumors, heartbreak, and questions she still faces today. And in this video, we're going to talk about what really happened to her husband and the darker truth behind life on the farm. Meredith didn't start out as a YouTube creator. She was a farm girl at heart, though her early career took her into the corporate world. For years, she worked in sales, driving miles on the road, closing deals, wearing professional clothes instead of work boots. But somewhere along the way, she realized the life she wanted wasn't in boardrooms or car rides. It was at home, with the man she loved, on the farm they were building together. She left her career to join her husband Lawrence, homeschooling their 2 kids, caring for livestock, planting crops, and turning farm life into family life. That leap of faith was the beginning of what eventually became This Farm Wife, a YouTube channel, which was really a window into their world. But if you've followed Meredith for any length of time, you know she doesn't sugarcoat it. Yes, there are moments of laughter, cooking meals in her kitchen, sunsets over the fields, or kids playing by the barn. But there are also raw videos of her crying, grieving, and confessing that some days feel impossible.
I had to stop and pray. Like, it's really hard to try to create content when the world is literally just going mad.
And maybe that's what makes her story matter so much, because it's not perfect. Back in January of 2019, one of the first heartbreaks to shake her channel and her family came with the passing of Lawrence's father. To their kids, he was Papa, the kind of grandparent who made everyday things magical. Cornbread at the table, bicycle rides in the yard, little traditions that stitched generations together. He lived a long life, 92 years, but even at that age, the loss carved a deep wound. Meredith made a video then, one that reached thousands, where she spoke softly about him, eyes red from crying, voice catching as she tried to hold it together. And the comments flooded in, people sharing their own stories of loss, of grandparents gone, and of the little things they missed. It was a reminder that even on YouTube, across screens, grief connects us. But grief wasn't done with them yet. In the years that followed, tragedy returned in ways they never expected. One of the hardest moments for her family came with the loss of Little Man, a horse that had been part of their farm for years. Anyone who's loved an animal knows it's never just an animal. It's a friend, companion, and a creature that carries part of your story with it. The cause of Little Man's decline wasn't clear. Maybe Lyme disease, maybe cancer. All they knew for sure was that he was gone, and the hole he left was large. Meredith shared that heartbreak too. The video was simply her telling the truth of what had happened, and in that truth, thousands of people found their own grief mirrored back at them. And then came the moment that made the question, what happened to her husband, echo louder than ever. It was supposed to be another regular day of farm work. Lawrence and a friend, Wally, were working on their Gleaner combine, a massive piece of farm equipment. Farming machinery is unforgiving, and every farmer knows that a split-second accident can change everything.
We had an accident, and I have needed to focus on my husband and my family. So
on that day, it nearly did. A 1,500-pound cylinder came crashing down, pinning Lawrence. For a split second, there was silence.
Wally and Lawrence were working on the Gleaner, and something bad happened. He was working on a cylinder, and it fell on him, and that we came this close to losing him. I don't know what it weighs, 1,500 pounds, 2,000, we don't know exactly.
The kind of silence where the world seems to stop breathing. And then came the panic, the desperate fight to free him. Wally's quick thinking and fast action made the difference.
Thank God Wally was here. Wally saved his life.
Lawrence survived.
He is okay. He's okay. I feel like I can breathe now because I know that he's okay.
But the truth was clear. They came terrifyingly close to a different ending. When Meredith finally shared what had happened, she did so in a video called "Counting Our Blessing." She looked exhausted, shaken, her voice trembling as she recounted the accident. She admitted she'd needed a few days off, time to even process the fact that Lawrence was alive, and you could feel it in her words. This was beyond just a story to fill a YouTube upload schedule. It was a brush with loss and a reminder of how fragile everything is.
I know farming is one of the most dangerous jobs that there is, and probably one of my biggest fears is something like this happening, but being fatal or causing irreparable damage. So just feeling very, very grateful, thanking God that he is alive.
Have you ever had a moment where you realized, in the sharpest way possible, just how close you came to losing everything? How do you carry that weight once the danger passes? For Meredith, it seems she carried it the only way she knew how, by being honest, thanking God, and by sharing it with her community. Of course, the internet being what it is, rumors followed. Some began to wonder if Meredith and Lawrence had split, if a divorce had quietly happened, or if the hardships of farming had cracked their marriage. But those whispers, as of now, have no ground. They're simply echoes of curiosity and gossip filling in the quiet spaces where Meredith has chosen privacy. The reality is that, despite everything, the accident, grief, and the relentless weight of farm work, they're still together, raising their kids, still farming side by side and making videos that show life as it really is. The divorce rumors were baseless. The truth, it is hard, beautiful, and ongoing. On Reddit, where farming communities and curious outsiders often gather to talk about rural life, Meredith's name has popped up more than once. People ask about her, share her videos, and sometimes speculate on her personal life. What's interesting is how often the tone there is protective, viewers reminding each other that behind the channel is a real woman and a real family living through struggle. In a space where gossip usually takes over, many users step in to shut down divorce rumors and instead point newcomers toward her videos, telling them, watch her yourself, you'll see who she really is. But life hasn't been without new challenges. If you've followed YouTube creators, you know that the platform shifts constantly. Algorithms change, audiences drift, and even the most heartfelt creators can feel like they're shouting into the void. Meredith's channel has grown to more than 133,000 subscribers and over 70 million views, a staggering reach for someone filming from her farm kitchen or tractor cab. But lately, the views and engagement haven't been what they once were. And here's where the struggle takes on another layer. Because farm work doesn't pause when YouTube slows down. Bills still come due, animals need care, and the kids need schooling. For Meredith, who is already carrying so much, the added weight of not being seen online is real. She's admitted it feels heavy, that some days it makes her wonder if it's worth it. Maybe you felt that too. The feeling of putting your heart into something only to watch it get ignored. And yet, even with fewer views, the comments that do come still matter. Loyal fans remind her that what she shares makes a difference. They buy her merchandise, write words of encouragement, and show up. And maybe that's the point. Connection isn't always about numbers. Sometimes it's about the handful of people who really see you. Through all of this, the grief, accident, rumors, and the changing tides of social media, Meredith has carried herself with the same raw honesty that first drew people to her channel. She doesn't film a polished, perfect life. She films real life. Muddy boots, teary eyes, burnt cornbread, laughing kids, storm clouds, and every once in a while, a sunset that makes it all seem worth it. And as for her husband, he's still there, still working on the farm, living the life they've chosen, even with all its risks. Meredith's story is unfolding in real time. Every new season brings both challenges and gifts. Every loss opens space for connection, and every near miss, like Lawrence's accident, reminds us all just how fragile life can be. Maybe that's why people keep watching her, because she reminds us what it means to live fully, even in the face of loss. And so, when you ask what happened to this farm wife's husband, the answer is he lived. He came terrifyingly close to being another story of grief on the farm, but he lived, and together they're still here. And maybe the deeper answer is this: what happened was more than just an accident. It was resilience, survival, and a kind of love that keeps showing up, no matter how hard the day has been.